Yo, what is going on today, guys? Good morning, good morning. Welcome to CG's Memo, where we show you how to make money in crypto and not only how to make money, but how to preserve money as well. And I know things have been looking extremely crazy over the past week. Haven't been posting as much and haven't been getting on the channel, but we are live today and here to show you guys exactly what's happening in the market and how we can respond and what we should be doing and taking action on during this time because there is a lot of good things happening that we aren't seeing on media, right? And what's being portrayed in mainstream media right now for the crypto market. A lot of people throwing a lot of FUD out there, and when FUD is in the market, a lot of bad things happen to the market. But you have to remember to stay focused because it's just FUD, guys. It's just FUD. So without further ado, let's jump straight into this. Look at the fear and greed index as of yesterday. Um, and so this was updated at 5 o'clock yesterday, right? It updates every day at 5 o'clock. So if you guys check this out, right? Last month we were in greed phase, right? At 72, 72. And as of last week, and what, I foresaw was that we would slip past 50, which was about a week ago, a little over a week ago, and we actually slipped all the way down to 27, which put us in the fear range. And as of yesterday, which would be 2 days ago, would it pushed to 26, and now we're in extreme fear, right? Extreme fear at 25. Um, this is this is bizarre, all right? Why people are extremely fearful and what we do on this channel, right? Is when we're in extreme fear, this is when you have the most opportune time, right? This is the oversold zone, all right? When you are in extreme fear, this is the oversold zone, especially in a bull market, okay? And in a bull market, this is the time where you need to start really accumulating your bags. And we've been talking about this over the past week. If you look back at my previous videos, it's really just about staying focused, staying consistent, and this is an opportunity to capitalize on people's fear. Right? There's extreme fear in the market, and when there is extreme fear, this is the tell, right, that we are going to be, getting a big discount on a lot of these opportunities, right? And so let's just look at CoinGecko real quick and just look at what's happening with the market cap. Okay, so market cap down about 4% right now. We are at 1.9 trillion in the market, down about 300 billion from just a couple weeks ago. Um, Bitcoin still holding a pretty decent value at 41, almost 41.5. Down a few percent, right? Down a few percent. Market cap down a little bit. People pulling out a little bit for whatever reason, and Ethereum down about 4.7%. Really, a lot of these alts are going to be down as well in uh, relationship and correlation to Bitcoin price movement, right? And when we look at Bitcoin's chart in a few minutes, we are going to see that, in this short term, we are going to see that Bitcoin is actually printing bearish, very, very bearish, right? But it's also a direct result of all the FUD that's happening in China, and you know how people are reacting to all of this FUD. And so we'll look at a Cointelegraph real quick, just to look at what's happening in the news as well, right? Um, so a lot of people saying that we need to be holding these target levels, 42K, 44K even. And we aren't seeing that as of right now. Bitcoin slid past 42K, now at 41.3. But we have these whales, right? Bitcoin whales move record BTC value as metric sounds alarm over price volatility. And so there is price action, right, from these whales. These whales are buying up the Bitcoin that people are selling off, that, people are selling off, you know, from every position and every portfolio right now. And so there's whales that are eating this stuff alive, right? And if you want to be a whale, then get with the whales, right? Um, do what these whales are doing, and try to be one step ahead. And that's what we try to do on this channel, is to be one step ahead of these whales as well, which is why we over here, we try to hold into, we have long positions, right? And if you're longing Bitcoin, you're in a great position. Even if we slip below 42, 43, and we get down to, or even 40K, and we get down to like this 36 range, I still have high conviction that, we are going to not see that for very long. I price predicted by October 3rd, October 4th that we would see this huge price action movement coming, and we would be extremely bullish. And as we looked at the Fear and Greed Index, right, we've only been fear, right? We've only been in fear, and we've only been moving down just recent, right? When we look at the chart, okay, let's just look at the TA. So last month we were in pure greed, right? We were in greed, not extreme greed, but we were in greed because we saw all of this action in July, right? We saw all of this action in July, printing extremely bullish, right? And then what happened in August, we were extremely bullish as well, and we saw this peak off at 53K, almost 53K, and then the price got rejected, right? And then this is when all of the FUD, right? This is when all of the FUD started coming out around here. Oops. We saw all of this FUD around this area, right? At the very beginning of September, and it's only been FUD, fear, pumping fear into the market, because the whales know, and we know on this channel, that this is what you do, right? So that you and your whale friends can be accumulating at these lower levels here, right? And literally every single time that we've seen these micro dips, right? These in the micro perspective, right? This is a micro dip because it's just one big candle, right? It was really harsh to the retail investors that got in at this time, right? Because they're like, ooh, bullish, clearing EMAs. Oh, wow, and then we saw this huge shot down. But then as soon as people sold, oversold here, right? We have this oversold on this RSI. As soon as people oversold here, it went extremely back up, right? From this, 39 or 40, 42K, all the way up to about 45 again. And then we played in this range, and then we saw more FUD come out from the Evergrande stuff, with China. And then, saw this extremely oversold again, right? Saw this extremely oversold again. And now we're seeing more FUD continue to pump into the market. Oh, Bitcoin's, price action extremely weak right now. And, there's, we need to hold these levels, or else, we're not going to be able to we're going to go back into a bear market, right? And we are printing extremely bearish, but it's a result of manipulation, right? when you look at, what's actually true, right, is that Bitcoin whales are moving record BTC value as metric sounds alarm over price volatility, right? So retail investors are getting out of the market and clearing room for these whales to be buying in at these lower levels. And not only the whales, right? You have institutions, and then you also have like El Salvador just buying in and stuff like that. And they're just completely trying to wreck El Salvador right now, just teaching them a lesson of how volatile, we are in crypto, right? But we are seeing that this is quote unquote the worst case scenario, right? We're seeing that we must hold these levels, guys. The only reason why this type of manipulation is happening is because these whales are eating it up. These whales are eating it up and preparing for this quarter four that everyone knows, all the smart money knows, is going to be extremely explosive. The last time we were oversold, right, we saw this bounce back, right? So when we're oversold, we bounce back. Oversold, we bounce back, right? And look at this, guys. So over the past month, right, when we were in greed, right, or just we'll just look back, a couple months back, right? This is when we were in extreme fear. We were in extreme fear through this entire range, right? When we were sideways on this, right, from here all the way to here, right? We were extremely fearful during this entire time, even though we saw these good price action here, a few times, and then we saw these dips down, and then bounce back, dip down, right? And then we saw this, over the next month and a half, right? From July, the end of July, all the way through August, we saw just extremely, extremely bullish, right? We saw just extremely, extremely bullish, which is this, right? It never really peaked down. We never saw this actually come down to retest any former levels. It was just extremely bullish. And so what happened is that too much greed will lead to some amount of fear. Okay. And so when we're seeing this fear and this FUD start to pop out, just know that this is just manipulation because we haven't retested at these lower levels. If we retested down here at this bottom to 29, 30K, then it'd be a different story. But because we're maintaining these levels here at 42, between 42, 40K, we have support there. And then we have support down here at this, 36K level. And then past that, we could retest back down here to 32. And anything past that would be extremely, extremely bearish. But we're staying range bound. And so if we stay range bound in this rectangle here, and we can test as low as this, 39K, before we over here on this channel start really considering if we're going long, to start pulling out, right? Even having some kind of stop loss here at like 37.5, right in between this 36 and 39, so about 37.5, 38, right? It's smart to have something like that in place in the event that we see this huge breakdown again because of the extreme fear. But because we are here in this range and playing off of this range, we just gotta just stay focused, just keep your head on, and don't get emotional that we're in this range and that we're seeing this breakdown. Okay, these are just micro dip levels. Okay, playing within this rectangle range. As soon as we see this rectangle range start to break past this 42K and this 45, once again, we're going to retest up here at this 50, and then past the 50, is going to be greenfield you know, 56, 64, you know, all the way up to, you know, possibly between 120, you know, 100. Like, this is why this is like a median price prediction that people are going for, is this 100K, 123, you know, at the top, at the very top of this is playing off of fibs, would be 180. But you know, we're still just playing the side of the whales, okay? Just in this short amount of time, right? We've like people are freaking out. We're only down 1.9%, right? We're only down 1.9%, and we've had back-to-back red days. Okay, so we're going to be seeing this recovery, and we're playing this sideways channel once again, right? That we saw back here, right? We saw this back here, and then once we broke past out of this range, let's just draw this up. So once we broke past out of this range, right? So we played in this range for the better half of, what is this, like 2 weeks, right? And then we broke out, and then we had a breakout to the top of 52, um, you know, 52, 53, and then that's when we got price rejected and FUD and whatnot, right? And so we're seeing that same thing happen again, right? Just at slightly lower levels, right? Slightly lower levels, but this is just a result of testing the market's will, right? And over here we're smarter, right? We work smarter, not harder, for our money. And so just continue to stay focused, guys. We are, you know, going to be seeing a lot of price action within the next coming days. I wouldn't even say within the next week. You know, within the next coming days, we should start seeing a lot of price action. You know, Bitcoin should probably get back to around the 43K range. Do I think that it can slip below 39, slip back into this 36? Yes, it's a possibility. That's why we have this descending triangle formed, right? We have this descending triangle formed, and we have, you know, we want to break past out of this trend line right here, right? Which would be, you know, breaking past this, you know, 30 or 42K level. But in the event that we continue to slide down past this trend line, and we hit this 37, 38K level here, and then we don't know, right? You can set a stop loss here, and then just make sure that you try to get as much profits as you can, because there is a possibility that we could slip back into this 36, and then that's when I would try to probably re-enter. But just continue to avoid the FUD. Avoid the FUD. Look at the technicals and look at what's actually happening with Bitcoin, right? We are in this downtrend. However, there's a lot of things that make sense as to why that's happening, right? And look at the whales, what the whales are doing, right? The whales are eating this stuff alive, okay? And just continue to play around this fear and greed index as well, right? Don't fall into the typical retail investor that's going to get out of this market, or to not utilize this opportunity to get in. We're going to buy at these lower levels, and we're going to capitalize on people's fear, right? Because when we're in this oversold zone, right, like we're seeing here, right, like we're seeing here, we're in this oversold zone. I see that Bitcoin could possibly, break even lower into this oversold zone, and that's why I think that there is a possibility we could see this slide past 40. But tomorrow's Wednesday. Wednesday is usually like it's weird, but Wednesdays have been green days over the past several weeks, and we've been seeing Mondays and Tuesdays kind of slide a little bit lower, and then we see pretty good recovery through the weekends is what we've been seeing. when a lot of retail investors finally start buying up at the top. But whales getting in right now, and uh, my suggestion is that we also get in as well, and to not be following the same patterns. If you want to be successful at anything, you just got to be a little bit different, right? Do things a little bit differently from the rest of the crowd. All right, guys. So I appreciate it. If you could just give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and let your friends and family know that we are over here to help you guys gain some knowledge. First and foremost, to educate you guys on what this market is about, why it's so volatile, how we're going to make money and how we're going to preserve our wealth. Is is everything that you get to learn on this channel. So, be sure to hit that thumbs up, subscribe, and if you have any questions, leave them down in the comments. All right, take care, peace.